Hello everybody, Iain Robson here, and welcome to another edition of the Newbie Farm. Alright, we're going on today. If you recall from the previous episode, we were working away on this field. I got it fully planted now, and I got rid of the trees, but not the stumps, which are still somewhere in here. I have no idea where they are. They're somewhere in there. And also, if you remember, we spread a little bit of fertilizer. So seems like people had fairly positive comments about the last episode, so we're gonna go ahead and continue on with the series. We'll continue for a bit and see what people say after a while. Maybe we'll ask the same question and see what people have to say about that, and we'll go from there. Also, pretty cool, we actually had Decker, which is the guy who is part of the team who makes the soil mod. He actually dropped by and said hello and gave his 2 cents about one of the about the trailer we were using, or the fertilizer spreader we were using specifically, because we were using the in-game one, which is this one right here, the Amazon. It's one of the in-game ones that we can get, and he was mentioning the fact that I thought you could choose between more than just those two, but he was saying it might be because of something that was set up incorrectly, perhaps in that particular fertilizer spreader. It might have been that, or I think what might have actually been the case. I'm just going to test this right now real quick, just as for Decker's sake and for my own sake. I think one of the reasons why we were only able to choose one or two out of the two selections was, I think, because, let's just come over here for a quick second, double check this, see if my thought is correct here. Let me just back up here. Alright, yes, there we go. Oh no, that's the same thing. So I don't know why it's showing just that. Like, that's lime, but that's MPK. I thought the reason why it wasn't registering properly perhaps was because I had another map installed that added a lot of extra things, because in Farm Sim the way it works is you can only have, I think it's 64 things registered, like fruits and whatnot. So I thought that was the reason why I could only choose between these two, but apparently it's not the case, it seems. I don't think I have any other maps installed other than just one at the moment, so I'll see it play how it goes. So there you go, Decker, that's for you, just to show you it's an in-game one. Just to verify that, once again, we're in categories, fertilizer spreader, and it shows us we own just one. So there you have it. I wonder why it's the case. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's strange. I wonder why that's the case. Oh well. Anyhow, not important right now. What is important is our field is fertilized and it has been planted. So what we need to do now is we're going to go ahead and progress time and see what happens with our field. Now this is the point I'm not so sure about, because I have not used it very much. So let's go ahead and see what happens. So you see in the top right hand corner there, it says soil mod 6%. So the way it works is it goes through its full 10% and full 10%, full 100%, and then it changes. So as you can see the nutrients changing as we're moving around here, and when the plant grows, it actually uses some of the nutrients up, and it changes. Also, if you notice, the soil moisture has gone down as well. Before it used to be 57%, now it's at 43%. So that's the other thing we need to pay attention to. And if we come over here real quick, you can see here some of the weeds that are popping up as well. At the moment, I'm not sure what this default for the soil mod is set up to. I think it is, we'll wait for this to finish up, but I think it's 3 days, 2 or 3 days, not sure. Is that 90%? Is it going to go up to full stage growth? I don't think so. Based on what I'm seeing, I doubt it. Alright, so there, the soil mod's done. Let's go ahead and check this real quick here. So we're just going to go into growth right here. I don't know why I skipped it. Yeah, so right now it's only in, looks like it's the first stage of growth, maybe? Maybe the first stage? Second stage? So maybe it's going to be 2 nights. So we can't really do much about this right now. But we do need to be careful about... I don't think we actually have a sprayer, do we? No. Okay, so let's go ahead and... let's rent this. Someone pointed something out really important. I totally missed it somehow last episode, and I thought it was kind of funny. Is the fact that when you rent something using the rental mod, be sure to make sure you don't have accelerated time on. When the person pointed that out, I was like, did I really do that? I think I had it like 5 times accelerated time. So it was still enough time, and it wasn't a big deal. I just thought it was really funny when I saw that comment. I was like, did I really just do that? I was like, oh. One of those moments where you're like, facepalm. It was pretty funny, though. It was pretty funny. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this guy back here. Put him back in the corner. There we go. And drop him there. And let's go grab the sprayer because I want to make sure we have enough moisture in the field, because apparently moisture is a very large component of, there it is, of the soil mod. Now if I bring up my reference sheet, 1 second, yes, I have a reference sheet for mods mod spotlights for the soil mod. As strange as that sounds, I actually do have one, just so I don't, not saying numbers off top of my head and saying it incorrectly. For moisture level 57%, you get 100% yield. So I also just want to, is this the wrong way? Why do I always try to attach to it the wrong way? I have no idea. I guess I just don't use it enough. Alright, this time, second time's a charm. Here we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to fill this guy up a little bit. I don't think we're going to need a full tank, but we're going to fill up a little bit just to see what happens. So it actually needs fertilizer. Well, actually in this case it actually needs moisture, and 57% is 100% yield. So we're going to see what happens. So if I come over here and refill, so there I have NPK, PK, N, and then I also have the fertilizer, or the herbicides. That's herbicide A, B, and C, and that's AA. I'm not sure what that one's about. That's lime apparently, and that's the water. So, but apparently I can't get water. So if you have too much moisture, it's bad, and if you have too little moisture, it's also bad, obviously. I guess we're just gonna fill it all the way up. Let's see what happens. All right, so. Oops, I actually want to change this before I get too far away. I want this to be water. There we go. It's kind of strange that you have to spray water, but it kind of leads to other things. Like hopefully what we'll see is we'll see that the what was it called? The irrigation mod in 2013. Maybe we'll see that in here, and it'll become a big component of the game. Who knows? Alright, so we're going to spray water here. So this is at 43% moisture level, and if oh, you could have this is I probably still get 100% from this. I'm just kind of curious as to how this is going to affect it, to be honest with you. Alright, so let's back up here a little bit. There we go. Bust out the GPS. There we go. And spray some water. It looks like fertilizer, but it's actually water. So the way this works is you spray the water and it increases the moisture level, basically. And that's how this particular soil mod worked. This wasn't a part of 2013 soil mod. This was actually just implemented in 2015's version of the soil mods, but it's still pretty cool. I think it's a pretty nifty little scenario. One thing I'm kind of confused about is the AA and BB. I'm not sure what the deal is about that. I'll have to actually look that up again. But depending on what you're planting, and what you have in the field. Oops, that was a bad turn. Luckily, that's drive-throughable, I guess. Depending on what you've planted, basically will dictate what you should put down in terms of herbicides and fertilizers. So for example, this is wheat we have planted in here if memory serves. Let's double check that. Wheat, is it wheat? Yes it is. Okay. So for example, for wheat, we cannot use herbicide A, but we can use B and C. So I guess when that has the double A and double B, it just means a double dose, I'm assuming. That's my only guess on that route. And I don't know if that's intended or not, but you always have to take those things into consideration because sometimes it's not what, let's say Decker didn't mean to have that happen, for example, and that's a big part of testing as well, right? So sometimes you try something and it doesn't quite work the way you want it to. Sometimes it does. It really depends on what's what and who's who and all that jazz. So, alright, so this is 43% moisture. So this will probably, I'm not sure how much this will bring it up by actually. I'm not sure if we'll bring it up by a lot. Actually, you know what we should do? We should check. So this is 43%. If I go back here, get off. Okay, it doesn't adjust automatically right away. Okay, it is one of those scenarios where you have to wait until the next growth stage to see what happens. So it should be interesting actually. So it looks like right now I think the way it's set up here on this map is it's a 2-day cycle based on how many stages this appeared to go in the space of a day. So we'll see. Also, getting the edges of the field isn't necessarily a bad thing because it does factor into your moisture levels and a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit, only because Alt-I, I believe it is. So that gives you the idea of the moisture level. So that's the pH. So here we're looking at the moisture levels, and this gives you an idea. This would be more if there was a significant change in moisture levels in like the area you're scanning, but for now it's not a problem. It's interesting. I wonder because it looks like the way it looks like I have to, it only seems this way, but it looks like I have to like spread more fertilizer down, but I honestly I'm fairly certain that's not actually the case. It just seems that way. So my guess is, let's unfold this back up. My guess is the way it works is it takes those nutrients out when it goes through a growth stage, and after you have used it, after it goes through the growth stage, it uses up the nutrients, but you don't need to put them down again, which would be kind of silly. All right, let me just show you how it works with the herbicide. So I'm going to use herbicide B is okay for wheat, and herbicide C is okay for wheat. So the way it would work is, let's say I had a huge field and that was just covered in weeds. I want to put down, not PK, herbicide B, okay? So in this case, this is where it comes into play. You really need to pay attention to what you're spraying, because if you spray something that you, maybe the BB's prevention. Oh, I wonder if that's the case. Let's just try that real quick. Because there was the two different types, and one of them might be prevention, and one of them might be the infestation of weeds, for example. So let's just try BB, just because I'm kind of curious now. Let's give this a quick little go, and we'll spray this down. BB. Alright, there we go. So, does it say any information up there? No, didn't think it would. It's a nice thought, though. So this might be the prevention one. So let's see what happens, because it'll actually show down the bottom right-hand corner here when we have some prevention. So let's go ahead and just go like this, spread this out. We don't actually need fertilizer or this prevention all over the field, technically. But I just want to test this out to see what it actually does. Because sometimes what happens is, sometimes it's the base mod itself. Sometimes it is like the map conflicting with other things that's working. There it is. So see, it says, I don't know if you noticed that, but it says weed prevention plus 1 day. So 2 days, 3 days. So yeah, what will happen is it will, So it'll prevent weeds from happening. I don't know if that actually does it. So this is the weed prevention one, and just the regular B would be. So I'm just gonna spray this all over the field because I filled this tank up and I didn't actually need all this. And I only have that one little part of weeds there, so I'm not too worried about it. So what I'll do is, let's put the cruise control on. What I'll do is I'll spray this, and then I'll just leave those weeds there for the time being, so I'm not worried about just that little patch. Because now we have some weed prevention down, so what should theoretically happen, of course, is that we shouldn't have any additional weeds on top of these ones right here. But you never can tell. One sec. Quick sip of tea. So good. Alright, so yeah, you can see how it says the weed prevention down there. That it's 1-2 days, depending on where you are in the field. So what should happen is, once I finish spraying this whole field, I should have fairly good weed prevention, which is kind of neat. But I was talking to Farmer Beavis, and he was saying lots and lots of spraying, apparently. So it probably just seems that way, only because in comparison to the base game, you don't do any spray. You spray once and that's it. So I can imagine how he would. It would feel as if there were lots of spraying, when in fact there. Well, depending how many fields you have. Like I only have one field, so it doesn't seem like very much. But if I were to have multiple fields, then it would be rather annoying. One of the things you do need to consider now with a soil mod is with sprayers. There aren't many modded ones that I've seen that I like. And also, notice how I'm doing a terrible job of turning here. If you're like me, for example, and you do a bad job of turning, and you're using a sprayer that's collidable like this one, so if I hit that tree, it's actually going to hit the tree. Some of the other sprayers you can get, well, I'm sure there's going to be a modded one out there. Sorry about that. Totally just hit this steering wheel by accident. Some of the modded sprayers out there are going to have non-collidable boom arms. I'm sure of that. And that's primarily because people like me and people like you, maybe, I don't know. Just depends on how good and or bad a driver you are, basically. Alright. There we go. Let's fold that up. And there we go. We'll have to return this now, because now we used it. Let's just kindly... Maybe we'll get charged because there's stuff in it still. Ooh, that could be interesting. Nope. Alright, okay, let's turn it off. And let's see what happens. So that was weed prevention, so it has 1 day, 2 day, herbicide A. How did they get herbicide A over there? That makes no sense at all. Why does it say herbicide A? That's really strange. Alright, let's see what happens. So we're going to go one stage more. Alright, so it's a 2-day cycle. So that's kind of what I thought it was. But we'll see what happens here. So we sprayed a little bit of moisture down. The moisture didn't go up. It's still at 43%. Oh, no, 70%. So now, actually, I sprayed too much. So now what's happened is, because I'm at 70% moisture... Oh, no, that should still be fine, actually. Should be. This is kind of interesting. There's so many things to like manage now. It's kind of cool. This mod may be a lot for some people. A slight acidity. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But if I hop into this tractor right here, well, I have to actually walk through the field for me to show you this now. If you look where it says soil pH, it says slight acidity. So for pH levels, for 100% yield, you need to be at 6.8 pH. So I'm going to have a slightly lower yield here. I'm going to have a 90% yield because it's a little bit lower than that. It may still be close to 100%, but alright, awesome. Alright, let's hop into our amazing sample Robson, whatever this thing's called. Okay. And let's go harvest our first field. And depending on what we're harvesting or how well we managed our pH levels and everything, we may or may not get a lot or a little yield. So that's going to be the real interesting part. So let's get this started and see what happens. I'm kind of curious about this. Let's do it this way. Do we want the straw? We kind of need the straw. Do we have it set so it disables straw swath? Oh, we have it. Good. Alright, good. So we have it so it's actually coming out. Perfect. Alright, so let's do our headland around here. And let's see what happens. So you can see in the soil pH level right there, it's changing slightly as we drive over certain areas. The pH will change a little bit, the moisture will change a little bit, and you will get certain levels depending on what everything's set to. Oh, that's really annoying. It's one of the more annoying facts about keyboard steering mod, because what will happen is once you back up a little bit, it'll just show you the grain tank right behind you. It's not fun. Although I think I can turn it off with Shift C. Yeah. Shift C for the win. I think I named an episode like that a long time ago now. Alright, so as you can see, our yield isn't super high, but not crazy low. It doesn't seem like it, at least. It's really hard to tell based on this. Am I missing some? No, I'm not. Good. It's really hard to tell on this to see whether we're actually losing some or not. And that's primarily because I don't know. You normally use this particular harvester, so I don't know what's considered fast and slow, but this seems like it's moderately paced, I guess. Excellent. Alright. It's funny. I can handle backing, going forward inside the cab the whole time, but apparently backing up is not something I really enjoy inside the cab when I'm looking behind me. Oh well. But as you can see, we're coming up at 50% yield, or 50% yield, 50% of our tank capacity. So that means that we're going to get a full tank just from doing a headland around the outside, which I don't think is too bad, actually. It doesn't seem to be too bad, at least. I don't think we can run through that gate. Alright, let's get that a little bit there. And let's try and actually... I thought I'd turn that off. There we go. Could you imagine doing this in real life? Wow, that is super... Can you actually drive through that? Oh, maybe you can. Okay, so that's why. I'm like, that seems like it's awfully close. That'll be difficult for a hired worker to do that, but apparently he did. So, without a problem. I don't know if that's because, I was wondering if it was because it was non-collidable, the fence, or not, because that would explain a couple things. And it turned out that was the reason why. Alright, so, looks like that. So looks like I got 3,000 from this first headland little area. That's not too bad, it looks like. It seems acceptable. It seems acceptable, so. Alright, so let's get this last little bit here. And what I'm going to do is not drive straight into that. I want to just turn around here like so. And let's just back this up and hop into the New Holland here. And I should... There it goes. Alright, so we're just going to unload quickly, and then I'm going to hire a worker, and I'm going to go unload this. Because somebody asked me, where do you unload the Where do you unload the grain in this particular map? And I'm going to show you that in a moment. Nice. You would never stand there like this. Maybe at the back here, but not like right beside the auger. Okay, good. So let's grab this guy. And let's go in the cab. And let's hire a worker. The hired worker should be fine. Should be being the keyword. Alright. Let's just back this up and I'll show you where you unload grain on this map. Apparently I'm doing a bad job of backing this up. Apparently I just need to go a bit slower and that will probably solve all my problems. Most of them at least. Alright, we'll just turn around this field. It's not our field, but they won't mind. There we go. Perfect. So, where you unload the grain on this particular map is... You can see the silos all over the place, but the actual unload point, if memory serves, and you can fight me if you want to after the fact, but memory serves, it should be back over here in this area right here. Yes, there it is. This is the actual unload point right here. Let's just verify this. Let's bring up the information. So there you go. So there is our amounts. We're unloading 3,000 liters of wheat. Let's see what happens. There you go. So this is the area right here. Just in the back little area here, as you can see. And let's see what this goes real quick. So that's where the unload point is for the crops, basically. And it's nice because you have a little drive and you can take a little jaunt back to the fields, which I kind of like. And I don't know. I have to double check actually. I don't remember seeing any. So there's one of those silos you can unload at. And if we come down here, that was the field we were going to buy. And our field is right up here. I don't know if we can actually access it from this side. Can we? Oh, that's a bit strange. I thought I'd be able to access it from this side. Whoops, 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 whoops. I know I can drive. Oh, I guess we can't access it technically. No. Really? There's no like little entranceway there? That's a bit strange. I thought there would be. I'm not driving all the way over there. I'm just gonna do this. I wonder if you can so here's an example of what happens if I drive over here. You see how this says weed infestation? So that's what you need to be careful of, because that will add up really quick. There you go. So that's where you unload the crops into. So if you're doing like an overloader style thing, it's kind of helpful. You can also, instead of going the way I did and go straight down, this way you can also zip off the other direction. So kind of cool. Anyways, folks, that'll be it for me for today in another episode of the Newbie Farm. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think we should do next. And until next time, folks, my name's Iain Robson. This has been the Newbie Farm, and I'll catch you guys later.